So here, let's start with the new topic. We already know the understanding of KNN a bit now, how it works. Now we will discuss how things will change when I change the value of K. K is we know, right? That's the how many nearest neighbor I want to look for. So what will happen when the value of K will change, right? What will be the behavior? That is, we'll try to understand. So let's go to the data. Here is my data set, right? And now we want to know when my K is equal to 1, then what will happen? When my K is equal to 5, then what will happen? And when my K is equal to N, where N is my total number of records, then what will happen? Okay. When we are going to run the K nearest neighbor algorithm, we have to pass the value of K in the algorithm. And that is known as hyperparameter. Basically, the value of K. This K is actually known as hyperparameter. Right? It is known as hyperparameter. We will have a detailed understanding of hyperparameters also in the future sessions. But for now, K is known as hyperparameter. If you go to the scikit-learn website, if you go to scikit-learn documentation, let me open that. And if you go to the K nearest neighbor, so if you see here, let's search it. So if you see here, you are passing these values, right? The n neighbors, weights, algorithm, leaf size, p equal to 2, metric equal to Minkowski. So these are my hyperparameters, right? So by default, the value of neighbors are 5. That is the default value. If you're not passing anything explicitly, then it will take 5 as default. So now here, I want to know what will happen when my K will change, right? When my K's will be 1, when my K will be 5, when my K will be N, how the behavior will be. Let's go with K equal to 1, right? Now this is my data set. In this data set, I can clearly see that this data point is basically falling in this criteria. Actually, he is going to the office by bicycle only, but it is falling somewhere in the periphery, or I can say in the region where the scooters are more. Same way, this point is falling somewhere where the cycles are more, right? Rest all my data is pretty much fine. Rest all my data is pretty much fine. Now, as a layman, if suppose I ask you, can you draw a line in a way that I will segregate my positives, and let's say this is my negatives and that is my positives, right? I want to create a line which is going to segregate my positives and negatives properly. That means those guys who are going to the office by bicycle are my negatives, and those guys who are going to the scooter to the office is are positives. So what you guys will do? You guys will do something like this, right? That will be the line. Now here it is very much segregated, right? Any record which is towards the left of this red line are negatives. Those guys are going to the office by bicycle. Any points which are towards the right side of the red line are positives. Those are going to the office by scooter. Now, Here, basically what we are trying to do is we are very much trying to create a curvy line, right? Which again is also known as overfitting, which we will discuss in some time or maybe in the next session. But something like we are trying to overfit the data, right? Now let's assume that my k is equal to 1, right? K is equal to 1. Now what will happen? How the line will generate? Basically k will, because when I am passing k equal to 1, it will generate some line basically, right? For example, let's say I have this, I have a guy which is present somewhere here. Let's say a new employee joining me, he is present somewhere here. Now I am saying k equal to 1. So nearest neighbor is this. So it will classify as negative. Let's say I have some guy who is present here, k equal to 1. This point is near, so this is also negative. I have some guy who is present here. This point is near, so this become positive. I have some guy who is present here. He will classify as going to bicycle because this point is the nearest, k equal to 1. So this is negative. This is again positive, and this is again negative. Okay. But now if I come here, then the nearest point is this guy. That means this is negative, right? If I come here, still this point is near, so negative. If I come here, still this point is negative. If I come here, still this point is negative. If I go a little bit far here, then it will be positive. So if you think of the people who are joining my company is falling near to this guy, my line is going like what? My line is actually going like this, right? My line is going like this. Don't you think so? Same way if I go here, positive. If there's a guy who is falling here, if a guy falling here, positive. If the guy falling here, positive. If the guy falling here, positive. So if I try to join or segregate, right? So this is the positive. So positive, positive, positive will join here like this, like this. So when my k is equal to 1, actually we are trying to overfit on the data. And as I overfit on the data, my line will be more zigzaggy. The benefit here is that there will not be any error. This guy is negative, it will say negative. This guy is positive, it will say positive. But we are overfitting the data. We are training my model on the trained data, right? And these guys are outliers, I can say, or I can say the noise data. It's a noise. Suppose I am getting the test data and there one guy is sitting who is actually going in a scooter. It will classify as bicycle. Because of this outlier, or I can say the noisy data, my model will predict wrong. On the trained data, it is working perfectly fine. There is no issue with that. But is that what my motive is? No, my motive is what? My motive is that if any new data will come in, it should predict proper. Here, because of the overfitting, the chances are more that when the test data will come, there are no outliers, it will do the wrong prediction. So when we are going with k equal to 1, I am overfitting my model, which will lead to wrong prediction because I am forcefully trying to adjust this noise data also in that surface, in that line, basically, right? I am forcefully trying to adjust these guys, which are outliers. And because of that, my predictions will be wrong when a new data will come in. There are chances more, because if I consider this as a noise and this as a noise or outliers, in that case my prediction will be wrong for the normal data. And that is why when we are going with k equal to 1, we are actually overfitting the data, which I don't want to do. So you can see how beautiful this concept is, right? K equal to 1, things are overfitting. All right, good. Let's go to k equal to 5. Let's go to k equal to 5. Now if I come here, this is the guy, 5 nearest point, 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, or let's say 5. This, it will classify as positive, because out of 5, 3 are scooters, right? Same way here, if I come 1, 2, 3, 4, let's say this is 5, this is negative. Now you can put anywhere in the line, it will give me positive. If you put anywhere in here, it will give me negative. So how my surface will be? Something like this, smooth surface. Now that is the best thing which I can have, right? I am looking for a surface which is more smoother rather than more zigzaggy. There are no twists and turns in this surface, in this curve. So here, if I consider this as an outlier, this as an outlier, then it's fine. If I get a new data which is falling somewhere here, it will give me scooter. If I consider this as an outlier, then scooter is fine, right? That is good. So that is what we are looking for. I need a curve which will very well segregate positives and negatives, and will not consider these noise or outliers. Here there will be some error. Let's assume that this is bicycle, this is actually a scooter. There will be some errors. That is fine. But for majority of the points, this smooth curve is doing a good job. We are not overfitting my data when k is equal to 5. So when I am increasing the k, the smoothness of the curve increases. As simple as that. And that is what my ultimate aim is. I want a smoother curve which will give me a better prediction, which will not consider the noise data. Now the next scenario is when k is equal to n. That means all the data I am taking. So suppose a new guy comes in, I will find the distance from all. And when we are taking all the data, then the majority class will be the prediction, right? Majority class. If you see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 scooters are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 cycles are there. So this guy will be automatically classified as scooter. Always, if a new guy will come here, he will also be classified as scooter. If a new guy will come here, he will always classify as scooter. Here also, scooter. Everywhere scooter. Because my k is nothing but n, the total number of records. In that records, n1, which is scooter, is greater than n2, which is bicycle. So if I go with the majority voting, always it will be scooter. So a guy which is sitting anywhere in this data will be classified as scooter. And this type of scenario is known as underfitting. Underfitting. Right? So basically, three scenarios comes up. The first scenario is overfitting. Let's say this is my data set. I'll create some quick data sets here. This is my data set. So if I want to create a surface, it will be like, when I will talk about the overfitting scenario, then it will be something like this. That is my overfitting scenario, where there are more twists and turns. Right? Error will be 0 in trained data, but that is not my aim, right? My aim is that my test data should well fit on this. If I consider this and this as an outlier, and in my data there is nothing like that outlier, my prediction will be wrong for my test data. So overfitting we normally don't prefer. Second scenario is well fit. Well fit. Where I have the data points. Here are my data points. And I am creating a curve which is like this, segregating the negatives and positives with a smoother curve. Here, this is my well fit scenario, where the curve is smooth, and my train data will also place well on this. And finally, there is a third scenario which is underfitting. When I have data like this, and when I am creating a curve, there is no curve, right? How will I create a curve? When obviously k is equal to n. How? There is no curve here, right? It's taking the majority class. Whatever the majority is, it will take that. That is my underfitting scenario. K is equal to n. Here k is equal to 5, let's say, and here k is equal to 1. Right? So now this is what my three scenarios are. And this curve is actually known as decision surface. Decision surface. Now you must be thinking why it is known as decision surface and not decision curve. Because as of now we are talking about 2 dimensions, but we are mostly deal with the multi-dimension data. Surface, right? So this is my decision surface. And when we have more than 3 dimension, then it is known as hypersurface. Decision hypersurface. So these are my 3 scenarios where my decision surface will change based on how your K you are selecting in this particular model. See, again, for other models also, there are chances I am doing overfitting or underfitting. That maybe we'll see in the later classes. But in this scenario, when I am changing my case, according to that, my basically the, what do you say, the surface is changing, and based on that, my overfitting and underfitting is happening. How you are putting the value of K based on that, obviously. Now, so this we already had a discussion, right? So I just wanted to show you here also. We already saw here, right? So I already mentioned here. So that is how my overfitting and underfitting will work. Our aim is that not to just create a model which is well fit in my train data. In future, you are getting you may get lot many records, right? You will get lot many records. In that records, are we getting good accuracy? Is what my motive is. If my aim is just to train the model and my training data should give me 100% accuracy, if that is the motive, then no point of doing machine learning. That you can do by using Excel only, right? But my aim is that once something comes up in the future, it should be well fit. In that case, let's say I'm getting outlier, I'm okay with that. Outliers are very less. Out of this many 16 plus 15 records, that is 31 records, there are only 2 outliers. What are the percentages? 2 by 31 into 100, right? So I'm okay with that much of error. That is first thing. Second is outlier treatment. Outlier treatment can be done. Let's say I removed this data altogether. I removed this data altogether. Now there are various theories in classification. Again, we had a discussion about the regression in one of the statistics class. So here there is a, we can very well do a debate, right? We can very well have an argument that, okay, I am talking about the regression. So here is the point, here is the point, and here is one outlier. So we normally remove the outlier so that my line which I am creating, like this, will be tilted because of the outlier, right? That is fine. But think about the K nearest neighbor. Are we creating any line? Like the linear line. Are we creating a linear line? You will say yes, we are creating a linear line. That is what you are saying, decision surface, right? We are doing that. In that case, there is outlier, and here is the outlier. So as I want it to be a straight line, I want to remove the outliers. That we can argue, right? But again, here I can argue, okay, let's say I'm not removing the outliers. I'm not removing the outliers. In that case, how much impact will happen on my overall prediction? Let's say I'm not removing the outliers, I am creating a straight line. How much error I'm getting? Only one. But here, how much impact is happening on my overall prediction values? It is impacting all the points, right? It is impacting this point also, 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 and this point also. So here I can say outlier treatment is must. But what about here? If I suppose not removing this outlier, am I okay with that? I can argue again. This is a big theory where people can debate, people can argue, this can be done, that can be done. But let's assume that I am arguing that no, I am okay with, I am not doing outlier treatment. I don't want to miss any data. And I'm okay with creating this type of line. Now, how many points are getting impacted? Only 2 points are getting impacted. Those are outliers, right? So that is again, we have to think whether shall we go with the outlier treatment. If I'm going with outlier treatment, this story is gone. Then no point arguing about the underfitting or overfitting, right? But if I want to consider outlier, then I have chances of overfitting or obviously overfitting, not underfitting, overfitting. So this comes with the lot of, see again in data science, a lot of things is business driven. You cannot choose by yourself that okay, I want to remove the outlier. You have to check with the business whether shall I go with the removal of the outliers or not. Is that really important for you? All those things is a business driven. That is why we have to be in connect with business, regular talks, regular discussions, and based on that I will create the solution.